Welcome everyone to this full moon reading for the month of September. So this full moon is in Pisces and it's on the 10th of September. Now this full moon in Pisces, Pisces being a water sign, it has the traits of sensitivity and faith. It's ruled by Neptune, which is about imagination, dreams and illusions. So these energies are going to play out a little bit for each sign differently. Now remember, the full moon is a time when we get clarifications and results from the questions and the intentions we set at the last new moon. It's a time of looking at what worked and what hasn't worked, and areas that you might need to tweak or let go of altogether. It's time for gratitude and forgiveness and acceptance of where you find yourself now. So please watch for your rising sign first, as I will be covering the houses that this falls in for each sign. Then watch for your sun and moon signs, because then that will give you a bigger picture of the energies for the month and how they're likely to play out for you. As always, these are general readings, general messages, so please just take what resonates with you and just leave the rest. Welcome Aries to your full moon reading. This full moon is on the 10th of September in the sign of Pisces. Now for the Aries rising signs, this is, actually I'll take that. This is going to play out in your 12th house. Now your 12th house, or the 12th house, is ruled by Neptune, and that influences seclusion, secrets, spiritualities, the way in which you self-sabotage, and your fears. So let's see what messages Spirit has for you for this full moon. Now remembering, this is in Pisces, so the overall energy of Pisces will surround us at this full moon. So, you know, Pisces is sensitive, and they really believe, they have a really good faith system, or they're the traits of that sign. So not necessarily that's how Piscean people are, but that's the traits of the sign. And their ruler, Neptune, has the traits of imagination, dreams and delusions. So for you, excuse me, rising sign Aries, you know, this can really bring up your fears from deep, but those delusions might just, those fears might just be based in delusion. So fears that are not warranted, that we feel because we're embarking on something new or we're not quite sure of ourselves. So let's have a look. Interesting. Okay, Aries, just bear with me. I'll just grab the energies for this reading. So the way I've laid out the cards, we've got the numerology card, and I'm putting that as an overriding or overall energy for this moon reading. So when you are listening for your moon or sun sign, this will kind of be the overall energy, and it might rule above whenever I mention the house placements. So we have, as the overall energy, we have 99 and compassion. We have the Moonology card, which is the North Node, step out of your comfort zone. We have the Queen of the Moon Oracle, which is blossoming. We have the Universal Rider-Waite, which is the High Priestess, and the Nine of Pentacles. And then we have the Witch's Tarot with Karma, which in traditional tarot is Judgment. So let's begin. So we start off with the card Compassion, and I'm feeling with these overall energies. So if you are a rising sign Aries, this is playing out in your 12th house. So it's secrets, it's spirituality, fears, the way you self-sabotage. So I feel for many of you, embracing compassion, not just for others, but for yourself at this full moon, is going to really help you navigate the energies that come up. And that's really important. Now, I always look at the 99 like a triple nine because you've got two nines, and then 9 and 9 is 18, which becomes another 9. So this is completion at its ultimate. So this is really wrapping up things. It's the culmination of whatever you've been doing. It's the release. It's the endings. And it's letting go of people and things that just no longer serve you. So wonder at this full moon, Aries, are you coming to the end of something? Have you finished a project and you're just tying up the loose pieces before, well, that then becomes part of your past before you head into the next thing? It can be anything. It can be moving. It can be, again, because of this spirituality and these fears that come up in with your 12th house. It could be just you're changing your beliefs. You're changing the way you view the world, the way you view yourself. Nine is also about celebration and courage and strength. Because often when we get to the end of something, the end of a project, you know, you might be out celebrating, job well done. And for situations like that, we don't forget to celebrate. But we often do forget to celebrate when it's something more internal. We forget to celebrate when it's endings, like endings of cycles that have brought a bit of sadness or pain. We kind of get caught up in that as opposed to seeing it as, oh, I've come to the end of that journey of my life, and therefore everything won't follow me into the next journey. But because you've come to the end of it, it's a cycle you're no longer going to repeat. And that's why it's so important that you let go, that you don't drag it into your next journey, or your next journey will become a different version of your old one until you learn the lessons and learn to let go. And this is Aries where your fears might come up, and where compassion for yourself might be extremely important. And strength and courage also associated with the number 9. It takes strength and courage to move on, to let go of the past, to allow things to finish. The 999 Aries is not insignificant. It is significant. And I'm looking at these purples. And I'm wondering, especially with the Karma here and the High Priestess, it's internal work. And your North Node, the North Node is what you have come to do in this lifetime. The South Node is your past lives, and you know what you don't want to repeat again in this lifetime. And this North Node is like your North Star. It's what guides you to fulfill this lifetime's destiny. And it's very purple, very kind of third eye and your crown chakra. So it's very spiritual energies, which is interesting for you. Rising sign Aries, this is playing out in the spiritual 12th house. So we have step out of your comfort zone and the North Node. And this is so, it just ties in with your 99 compassion card, because endings do have us stepping out of our comfort zone. We can never get to the new beginning if we don't leave the ending behind, if we don't move out of the old. And there is a comfort zone here, Aries, because you've got the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles is achievement, it's success. It's having done the work and reaping the rewards. It's resources, it's abundance that has come to you from generally work that you have done. And it doesn't just have to be a job or a business. It can be internal work that you have done. But the universe is now calling you to something more. And like I said, Aries, this can play out in your physical world, in jobs, relationships, money, opportunities, but it can also play out just really internally on your beliefs and your spirituality and your soul's path, your soul journey. And for some of you, it'll be a combination of both. And generally, when we embark on our soul's journey, our external world changes. So it kind of does all have an effect on it, like on each other. Our internal work affects our external work. And then you have blossoming. Now this is you blossoming. This is you coming to a realization of who you are now. And again, I'm drawn by the color, the green. It looks a bit washed out on the camera, but it's actually quite a lovely green. It's gentle and soothing. And that's your heart chakra. So I just get this image of, you know, the heart opening up. And that's this compassion as well. When we are compassionate, our heart opens. And I'm really noticing this beam of light. And that's just really making me think of that North Node, that guiding, you know, it's showing you the way. And I feel, Aries, that this full moon is going to illuminate something for you and show you something that you may not have seen before. Or an idea that you had but couldn't really picture it exactly. This is guidance at its best. And you've got the double 3. And that's creative self-expression. That's optimism. It's sharing feelings. It's communication. It's connection with others. It's pleasure. So you've got 2 lots of 3, and then that becomes the 6, and the 6 is taking on responsibility. And being responsible for your actions, being responsible for you. A 6 won't allow you to blame others. The 6 is all about family, love, your home, relationships, a home business. It's all about harmony. A 6 is a very balanced number. And it's about wealth and your health as well. And it's very interesting because you've got the 3, the 6 and the 9s. And that's very balanced in a way, but it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very neat, isn't it? It just goes up in 3s. It's very harmonious, I guess, is the word, which is a very 3 attribute. But you're going to be blossoming. And it's because of this shining your light and probably pursuing a creative endeavor, something that you love, or something that's really in line with your calling in this lifetime. But I love this line. That's your north node. And it's your heart chakra being called by your crown chakra. It's your heart chakra saying, follow. And you've got the High Priestess and the 9 of Pentacles. And the High Priestess is really befitting of the 12th house. Because it's everything that is not visible to the eye. It's everything that is really of a really spiritual sense. It's what we feel but don't always understand. You know, it's like the doorway to the infinite, the doorway to our authentic self, the doorway to the universe, to the Creator, to Spirit, to Source, to God. And when I look at these 2 cards together, because as I mentioned earlier, 9 of Pentacles is really about, you know, having done the work and now reaping the reward. It's being independent. It's being self-sufficient. Interestingly enough, that's another 9, isn't it? So Aries, you're really, and this doesn't matter if you're a rising sign, a sun sign, a moon sign, you're really in that ending. And the full moon is about that. The full moon is looking at the hopes and wishes, the intentions, the questions we set ourselves at the last new moon, and seeing what we've been able to bring about. What have we been able to achieve? Where do we feel different about what we've put in motion? And it's about tweaking our path. It's about changing it completely, starting again. Or not yet starting again, because you'll do that at the next new moon. But this is understanding what might not be working and spending the next 2 weeks until the next new moon to figure out what do you need to do. So it's a real time of contemplation. It's a time of resting, and it's a time of seeing what you can put out there and what can come back with the tide coming in at the new moon, before you make new plans. And at the full moon, you know, after the full moon, you release what you want to release out into the world, so the tide takes it as it heads out. And this is what you'll be rethinking, which is not easy, and that's where the compassion will come in. That's where the step out of your comfort zone will come in. Because when we are achieving and when we are successful in our current path, which we generally are when we get to the end of it, it's difficult to go, okay, right, what's next? But you are being called to do that, Aries. And you finish with the karma. And this is judgment. You finish by looking at how this journey that you have completed, that you are completing, what wisdom can you take with you? What have you learned? What do you need to let go of? And with the karma, I find it even, it makes me feel even more of, like really past life karma, ancestral karma. It's karma that we've been dragging around with us for long time. Even the karma we pick up from our family's karma. We can when we become awake enough and understand enough, we can actually drop those karmas for others in our family, for others in our lineage. And I feel, again, judgment comes at the end of something. And not judgment in the sense how we judge ourselves or judge others or judge situations. This is judgment of the highest form, which is honest, open. It's not judging as good or bad. It sees everything as learning, everything as growth. And so this type of judgment is looking at your past journey. What have I learned? What has really benefited me? What wisdom have I gained that I want to take into my next journey? And what do I need to leave behind? What do I need to let go of? That's judgment. That's what this karma card is saying. A very deep full moon reading for you, Aries. I'm going to leave you with those messages. Love and light, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.